conversation.
Welcome to Open Conversation, a talk show where you, the viewer, get to talk with us, regular people, about regular issues and regular things. Today's topic is going to be about technology. I'm Simply D. I'd like to introduce you to the rest of our hosts, starting on my right here with our guests.
Hi, my name's Hope Dennis.
And next to me.
Hey, I'm your female comedian, Philadelphia's own princess of comedy, Miss Dark Child.
Antonio Wright, aka Mr. Right, never wrong.
Hi, I'm Melissa. Thanks for viewing, everyone.
Okay, so we're going to talk about technology today. Do you think it helps or hurts us? So let's start with our guests. Ms. Hope, how do you feel about the technology?
Well, technology is good in some ways and then it's bad in some ways. You have technology now, the phones, cell phones can do just about anything. But then you have some of the kids, they might use the text phone. A couple years ago we had sexting, which was a big thing with the kids, sending messages that they should not have. So sometimes parents have to monitor the use. Even with the computers, now we have all the different social websites that they can go on. You just have to monitor that. But there have been some technology that has really helped. Like a few years ago, the police were able to SEPTA. The kids that attacked somebody on the platform, they were able to catch them because of the technology that they had put in.
I agree. I'm all favorite. I'm a gadget bug. I always got the new, the latest and the greatest of everything that comes out. I've noticed that there's been a lot of good things with technology. First and foremost, you change doctors. Right. As your years go on. Your doctor gets older, he may no longer be a doctor. Now all your medical files are not stored just on paper, electronically. Right. You can go in and make a doctor's appointments. Mm-hmm. The other good part of technology, and I know our Philadelphia viewers will love this, you can now feed a meter from your cell phone. Yeah. Down on South Street, for the kiosks, you can now reload, and a lot of the states are picking up on it. Reload your meter. You don't have to get up from your dinner and run out and put a quarter in the meter. You can just pay it over your cell phone. Wow. There's also new technology as in terms of your cash and checks. Mm-hmm. There's a banking system where all you have to do is just take a picture of your check and it's deposited. There's some good and some bad flaws, but overall, we're getting into moving into a world where cash is really not needed. If you have an Android phone, you can go into the gas station and just swipe your cell phone over the little code, the QRX code. Bing, bill is paid. So in some ways, I am for the technology. It makes lazy people like me good. You know, we spend 20 minutes, especially for those that don't drive. Right. They don't have to get up and rent a cab, bother somebody, a friend, just to go to a bank to cash a check. You can pretty much just take a picture of your check.
But so, you feel as though that's safe?
I think anything, no matter whose hands it is, it's in the wrong hands. Just take, for instance, they have a gummy worm that gets you high. They've taken a drug and put it into a gummy bear and you eat the gummy bear. So technology in the wrong hands is a bad thing, but technology in the right hand, using the correct way, I always think that it's a great thing.
Very true.
Okay. How do you feel about that, Melissa?
Well, I mean, I think the advancements that we've made are just make everything more convenient. I mean, people work and there's less time and
So
convenience.
But you as a parent, would you like the idea of being able to turn on your cell phone and view your kids anytime during the day while they're at daycare? Would that make you as a parent feel a lot more safer or
Yeah, definitely.
less concerned? So you'd like to just be at your job and at the computer and tap on and boom,
Yeah.
you could see what your child is doing at any given time. I agree with that.
I agree with that
I mean,
too.
who
I think
wouldn't?
that's
Right.
yeah, especially with the different things that you have going on in the daycares. I think that technology is great. I think when you have bosses sitting at home tapping into the store or the workplace to see what's going on, I think that's a bad thing because now they're micromanaging from home and they're not trusting you to be the supervisor that you need to be with your staff. So,
My boss actually, we have cameras at the office that I work in now, and he works from home a lot. And so, but it's good because, you know, he can tell if we're on the phone and he needs to pick up a phone call
Right.
or something like that. So, I mean, at the same time, it's kind of awkward while you're working,
Right.
you're being watched.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it can help.
I think technology has come a long way and it helped us in many areas of our life as far as advancing. But I think with every pro, there's a con. Like one of the downsides, I believe, with technology, it's eliminating a lot of jobs for people. So therefore,
Right.
where you go on the market, there'd be 20 people waiting on one cashier, but now they have 5 self-checkouts.
Right.
So therefore, now it cuts down on the cashiers, it's cutting
Right.
down in the libraries. Now everything is on the internet, so therefore it's eliminating books. So therefore, that's less jobs for the printers, but it's still jobs for the editors and the
Right.
publishers. So therefore, the more we advance with technology, we ought to look at the side effects that come along with it.
Yeah, there's more jobs being definitely lost because of the new technology, which hurts us socially because now people are out of work and out of jobs because of the technology taking the place of individuals.
But I don't really think that that's the case. I know with us, and most of the people at the panel and a lot of our friends, we do have someone in our lives that is incarcerated. And I know the last time that we were able to go to court on his behalf, he was not there. And technology provided us an opportunity for him to sit in on our court case. And we were able to see him after not being able to see him when he is so far away.
Right.
I'm hearing that the prison system is also being able to allow folks to visit and don't have to be, actually, you can be at the privacy of your own home and you can visit over. We've had ailing parents, we have people who can't get there physically for whatever reason, if it's not for driving, if it's not for health conditions, sitting for long periods of time and so forth and etc. It's great. Because I know for myself, I was very happy at our last court here, being able to see, and for him to be able to view us and view them. He got to see everybody. On a visit, it's 1 or 2 people. He was able to see 15, 16 of his family members at one time. So I take that part of technology as a plus.
See, that's the plus. That's the wonderful thing about it. But then when you look at the downside of it, now by everybody's information being just stored on files and stuff, you have some lawyers or attorneys that basically feel as though it takes away the intimate relationship that you have with your client. You don't sit hours at a time talking to your client, getting to know your client. You just hit the button, let me research them real quick, read their information, and then run straight in the courtroom.
Right.
So therefore, for every reporter is a client, and I think it's making us more lazy as individuals. Where some people don't even want to get up and change the channel. I can't find a remote, I'll just watch what's going
When I
on.
was little, we didn't need no remote. We was the remote. Come here, Johnny. Go over there and turn the TV for your mama.
Exactly.
Right.
And I agree with you, and still at the same time, technology, let's take it a different avenue. In the studio, you got drum beats and all these machines now, they take away from having a drummer sitting or a guitar player and things of this nature. Background singers, because you can make yourself sound like a background.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is taking away jobs from the studio because one person can go in the studio now and cut a complete album.
And see, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. Technology is a wonderful thing, but we also got to look at it. The more it advances, the less it takes away the intimate relationship that we have with each other as individuals. You can have 20 people sitting in a studio session and be working and laughing and joking. Now it's just one person doing 20 people's jobs, so therefore now they're isolated from society. Where children used to go outside and play on a daily basis, manhunt, catch lightning bugs. You just stay out and do everything under the sun. Now it's, you have to beg your child to get off of the couch because
now
they
people
want to
play video games and they can play with their friends while they're sitting inside.
Yeah, exactly.
So therefore, what happens to that child now when he goes into the real world? He's so accustomed to doing everything at the push of a button, and social network, that now when he's in a real social setting, he doesn't know how to adapt.
Right, because now you don't even have to go on a date anymore to go to the movies. You can have Netflix and everything else downloaded and watch it straight from the house.
Yeah.
So now you're cutting out on the movie time and walking down the street and holding hands and going in and buying a box of popcorn and drinks.
True.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right. And it's technology to me is a great improvement. It betters things. A lot of our viewers out here are animal lovers. How many times do our dogs or our cats get out the house and run off?
Right.
Now you can get a chip implanted in your dog, so
Right.
if the dog is ever found, you take it to the vet and they scan it and it comes up with your ID. Because most people that are stealing dogs, which I heard in the news, that there was a case that someone took a pit bull from a person's house and it was a dispute between two neighbors as to who dog it was. And they took it to court and the lady swore up and down that it was her court. They actually had the SPCA bring in the scanner and scan the dog's chip, and it read right up in the screen. And they caught the woman telling her, bold-faced lies. So technology to me is great.
See,
Just
what
think.
they gonna start putting chips in children now?
But hey, I'm for that. But at least for us, with technology, we can reach the masses. As even with parent, social, teacher conference, your teacher can conference you in. You can, because there are some very, very busy parents nowadays and they work odd schedules. You can sit and video chat with your child. I don't like the idea of our kids being homeschooled by the virtual reality teacher. It takes away a lot of something that we need. The kids do need that social interaction.
I agree.
But as far as your kids, they can run your iPhone better than you can. They can get in the applications and know the passwords before we even know. It's just pretty much how you maintain that technology.
See, and that's the thing. I'm happy you hit that point where you said most children can run the technology devices better than most parents. And I think as technology improves, we should have more classes for those that didn't grow up in that generation with the same technology that we have today, because now you have where parents, oh, I'll give you my passcode to Facebook, not knowing that their child has 60 other Facebooks.
Right.
Oh, I'll give you the passcode to my phone, not knowing that they have hidden applications. And you know what, I was laughing that I was in the market the other day, and it's funny when you look at an older person with a cell phone. They don't need text messaging, they don't need email, all they need to know is the phone ring and they can call out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but see, and the app thing, like you said, I was surprised because I called myself disciplining my daughter.
Right.
And she was cutting up in school, so I called myself, I'm going to shut your cell phone off since you're acting up. Well, it was no big thing to her because she had an app on there that still allowed her to use the cell phone even though it was off. Now, she did a dumb thing by texting me one day, and I'm like, how is she texting me and the phone is off? You know what I mean? Well, she wanted some money, so she had to text me, and I'm looking at the text like, oh, I need to figure this out. So I called the cell phone company, like, yo, what's going on? They're like, Mr. Dennis, the phone is off. So when I got with her, I'm like, how was you texting me? Oh, Dad, I got this app. Good, give me the phone. You know what I mean?
I mean, kids are kids, and they catch up relatively quick. I have a 5-year-old niece who actually has an iPad, and there are a lot of educational games on it. Some parents are not with their kids in the technology. I know it's expensive. VTech actually makes bumpers for these kids to have certain items. I'm for it because I realize that our generation now, these kids are growing up extremely fast and they're learning things even faster. So even you, Melissa, with your kids being so young now, how much do you really think that and let our viewers know, how much do you really think that the technology plays a part in educating your kids now? Because they're trying to take Sesame Street off the air.
I think it plays a big part. I mean, my daughter's 2 years old. She watches cartoons, Sesame Street, whatever else. I mean, she definitely learns from stuff like that.
Right.
Her colors, she learns how to jump,
Yep.
simple things like that.
Spanish.
Well, yeah, Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely used for an educational tool.
So do you think if you had a choice, would it be more a part of your child's life, or would you kind of have a limit of it? Like on a percentage scale, what percentage would you like to see technology play a part of your child's life?
I mean, not that big of a percentage, no, because I think that in turn it does take a lot away.
Right.
I mean, I didn't have all that stuff when I was younger.
Right.
I mean, we had video games, but we had the Super Nintendo, not
right.
like PlayStation. We couldn't play with everybody else and do all that stuff. So we were outside running around playing tag or hide and seek or stuff like that.
And now they're too lazy to get up and go outside.
But in terms of education, and she tapped on it, not a big part, encyclopedias. You remember as kids, our parents had to buy 36 books.
Right.
But now, and then if you would have that set of encyclopedias, which we still have, it's so outdated. That's last 1980.
Right.
So now you can actually buy a subscription to the encyclopedias, and it stays current every year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever use a dictionary. I Google. If I want to know something, I'll Google it. And
So it does play a big part, even with kids. When your kids want you to do something, homework or whatever, they do. So before we continue on, we're going to come back to our special invited guest. Hope Dennis is with us today. We're going to take a commercial break right here on Open Conversations, and we're going to drive right back at you.
Open conversation. You're breaking down. This is the way you want life to be. So take control. Don't lose your mind. Open your eyes, yeah. You gotta get back in line.
Sador Photography company that offers modeling, weddings, family portraits, and much more. Indoors, outdoors, in the studio, or we'll come out to you. Just give us a call.
Okay, so welcome back from the commercial break. We're talking about technology. Does it help or does it hurt? And we would like to get an opinion from our guest panelist today, Ms. Hope Dennis.
Well, I think one of the things is it hurts us because a lot of us have forgotten how to use regular methods that we use.
Right.
When is the last time someone wrote a letter? You know, so now the post office is dropping Saturdays because we're not using them anymore. You know, we don't communicate with our family and friends the way we used to because we can just go on Facebook and send a message to masses, you know, and forget we don't have that one-on-one communication anymore, you know. But on the flip side of that, our kids are able to work with China and other things because we now have technology that they can learn. And even though those video games might be bad in some ways, but it has their mind always going. So they're always learning something new, and if they put it the right way, it can be very helpful.
I agree with that 100%. I agree that technology, it forces us to grow. You have no choice but to grow because it's either move or get left.
Yes.
And so therefore, when you don't take the time out to study and learn the new technology at hand, you get left behind. Now the downside of that is it strips us from the fundamentals because I work with youth. So therefore, I have a child that's in the 4th grade. So I asked the child said, Mr. Wright, what time is it today? And I said, well, the clock's right there. And I'm being sarcastic, but it wasn't digital, so the child paused and said, but I asked you.
Right.
So I said, what time does it say? And the child said, my watch is broke, I don't know. I had one child where you gave 5 times 4, they didn't have a calculator, so therefore they didn't know. So therefore it strips us from the fundamentals,
Right.
because we rely on technology.
And that's one of the things I was going to say. I think it breaks us down socially,
Right.
because now we're not having that one-on-one time or group time like we had when we went outside to play. Like you went outside looking for certain people to play with. You know what I mean? Now you can just sit at home, like we said, and be on your computer or be on your game system and play with people all around the world. So you're not really looking for that friend or buddy to go outside to play with. You know what I'm saying? So it breaks us down socially that way, I think.
But one thing I do admire about technology, whereas as a child you used to have an imagination, you have imaginary friend, you'll dream, oh, I'm in my imaginary car that's flying. Now you imagine it, you can make it through technology.
Right. Yeah.
So I think technology, it really helps us, but I think with anything in life, it just needs better modification and...
Especially, Mr. Wright, them red light cameras on that boulevard.
Oh my God.
Modern technology and them red lights on that boulevard. I got 4 red light camera tickets already. $100 off. What?
Oh, mine was 150.
Mine was 75.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was in court and I was like, it wasn't me.
It was me.
And it had to picture this angle, this
angle. Stop with them red light cameras. I mean, I get them for them speeders, but them red light cameras has got to go. That's the modern technology. Even technology has updated from taking x-rays. If anybody's been to the doctor lately, the x-rays, they boom, no sooner than they take the picture is right out. Remember back, there was a time where there would be a 45-minute wait between the time they took the x-rays and what was now. So I embrace technology. I think it's a neat thing. With the use of these smartphones, you can bank on the go, you can check your balances on the go. I know people got horror stories. Call us, tell us, text us. You see the number and the email going down by the file. Tell us some of the technology, your horror story, especially if you got them cars that's all electronic and that thing shut down on you.
Mine did.
You got that car?
Mine did a little while ago. Cost me over $400.
Wow.
We didn't know. The car died, so I got to jump, called AAA, had to tow it into the dealer. Whole computer gone.
See? Now that's the same technology. My godbrother has a car and his was, they were looking for it. So the OnStar, he had it. They used that same system to find his car and repossess that. You believe that? The same system, the same technology he used when he was stranded, they used that same technology to come back and take that car. So don't try to hide your car no more. Remember you used to hide it 4 blocks away? Ain't none of that. They coming to get it. They're coming to get it.
That's crazy. Well, now, do you think the little blue cameras that they have on the corners helps cut down on the drug activity or things of that nature?
No, because drug dealers, I mean, they adapt with technology too, so therefore, you know, I'm surprised they don't take debit cards now. Because now they have it where you can have a little swipe thing on the top of your smartphone, so therefore, I mean, like I said earlier, I believe with every pro there's a con, because where cameras are great if you're on a family vacation, you can monitor who's going to your home, but what about the scenario where you had the landlord that went and put cameras in all of his female residents' homes and he was sitting there watching them get undressed on the cameras and everything?
But that's what we're talking about. We're seeing how technology, when it is in the wrong hand, it's being used, abused, and mistreated. But when we talk about technology overall, it's going to bite you. So the same way those school system did when they put the cameras in those kids' laptops and watched them, that same technology came back to bite and convict them. The man who installed the camera took a picture of himself, put the cameras in. So it doesn't matter. It is going, technology is here. It's just the way we embrace it.
Now what about more in the medical aspect? I mean, technology and medical advancements. How do you feel about that?
Excellent. I've seen the people who couldn't walk. The lady who had no use and they had to amputate her arm and give her a new arm. Technology has made it where she can get a new arm and a certain thought pattern in her head will make her fingers just move. Like years ago, you was an amputee, you had that stiff arm that didn't move. You couldn't open, you couldn't close it. But look at technology and what they did to the Blade Runner from South Africa. He got his little, Ricky Tintin got his little paper clips and tick.
I saw some kids with those things on too running track, like about 5 or 6 kids. So I think that's a positive thing, you know, not taking away from Mr. Tintin.
called him Mr. Ten.
No,
Only on Open Conversation do you call the Blade Runner Mr. Ten.
Because it reminds me of the commercial where you see, no disrespect to nobody, you see the elderly woman, she's reaching to get a can out of the cabinet, she falls over and she's like, ow, ow. And then she pushed the button, and then next thing you know, the ambulance and everything is there in a matter of 5 minutes. But see, here's the problem with technology that I do have. Because, let's say iPhone and Galaxy, let's just go to that topic right there. You'll have, this is a valid point, because as technology advances, so does their price.
Right.
So therefore now you're being broke just to keep up with technology. They say, okay, the iPhone 4 is out, everybody rush to go get it. Then 6 months later, we got a surprise, it's the 4S. Why couldn't you just put all of that in the first one? Like, you knew you was going to do that.
But that's the way iPhone make their money. That's not the way that us Android lovers do. When Androids put out the phone, we get the whole package. Shout out to the iPhone 4.
Is that why they have a Galaxy 2, Galaxy 3?
Yeah, that's why they have an iPhone 4, 4S, 4SS, 4SS, Galaxy. Now they get ready to do a 5. Shout out to Android, Samsung. We do not promote commercials. We love our phones. This end of our open conversation is Android. That end is iPhone. That's why that end ain't participating in this conversation.
Since we on the iPhone, which is my phone, let's hit this topic. See, but look at it though. Technology, as the price go up, I believe so does crime rate when you really look at it, because when the iPhone came out, you had people that was scared to pull out their iPhone because they was getting robbed for their new iPhone. People was standing in lines on like Black Fridays getting robbed for their new smart.
But that happened, man, with glasses. When remember back in our day, they used to steal Gazelles and Mill Styles. You be sitting on the bus and they tell you, don't sit near the door. Sure, can you? Wait, glasses gone.
They couldn't get your social through your glasses, your credit card number through your glasses. Nowadays, when you use the internet, you have to worry about who's getting your information. When and they say, well, this is a highly protected site, you don't have to worry about it. Well, what about the person that was in Colorado that got over $10,000 worth of credit card information, and then you had another state where somebody had received about close to 50,000 iPhones. They had it mailed to their address, did it all through the computer. So therefore, it's the simple fact now with technology, more things is becoming unsafe.
Right. Like you said, the thieves adapt to the way things are. They find a way to get around it and find a way for it to benefit themselves.
Especially identity theft.
Oh, yes.
Well, the same people who are making the technology, if they're smart enough to make it, they're smart enough to go in and do whatever.
Right.
You know, so you have to remember, criminals, just like we go to work every day, they go to work every day.
Yeah, this is true.
Absolutely. So we are talking about today on Open Conversation about technology, the good, bads, pros, and the cons. A lot of what we do as in our day-to-day job, in the day-to-day life, is about technology. Thermostats in our homes and in our cars are now run by electronic. The cameras, they're no longer 35 millimeter where you make the noise. It's just flick, 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 flick. Technology, depending on how you use it, is beneficial. I know myself as a parent, I would need technology. I would love to monitor at any given time what's going on with my child. I've noticed that even doggy daycare centers allow parents to log in and you can see what your dog is doing all day.
Yeah, but technology, stuff like that, that's why technology has gone over the top. Before, back in the 90s, you was hyped if you could clap on. Oh, my lights came on. Everybody thought they was fancy if you had a clamp on. Nowadays, now you have it where you can do your air conditioning, you can lock your door, unlock the door. Kids, go to bed. And then tell your kids when to go to some things is just over the top. You just need to just stop, relax, and think about it.
Yeah. Next, you'll be spying in on your wife or your husband.
Well, that sounds like a simply deep problem.
That's simple. That's a deep problem. We do not have this problem. I am single, and trust me, there's no cameras in my house. That is a Simply D issue.
If you missed the last episode, Simply D is a model, so I think his underwear model has caught up to him where he has to watch over his back.
What he's wearing. That ain't us. We wearing our clothes.
Jokes, dude. I'm just saying. If you're spying in on your kids and things of this nature, next you'll be spying in on your spouse.
I don't think
what they're doing. You're at work, you on the computer saying, Well, I wonder who's going in my
Yeah,
house.
creating. No, that is true because you have some people that go over the top with technology.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, you have people following you on Facebook or Instagram, but really it's an alias, so that way they can say, "Oh, why do you have so many likes?"
Right.
So therefore, I think, like I said, technology has become over the top in some categories.
Well, it's always been like that though. You can put a bug in the phone. I remember years ago, my brother bugged his girlfriend's phone, house phone. You know, you can put the GPS on the back of the car so that you can follow somebody. I mean, it's always been there. It's just now it seems like it's come to the light a little bit more.
Right.
I wouldn't have to bug her phone if she was doing the right thing.
I wasn't even talking about you. I was talking about somebody else, but
Wasn't me.
it's not a family issue though, I promise you.
Now you see that there is an issue with the family. Even with the fingerprints. Even let's look at our airplane.
No, that is true. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was watching the news the other morning, and because of technology, it was this, I think he was 18, 19-year-old boy, and he was locked up, and they had him doing like 25 to life for the murder. And yeah, and the next thing you know, because of the new technology that came out, they seen that all from a photo that he wasn't the height of the person that was a killer.
Right.
So therefore, technology is really a wonderful and it's a beautiful thing, but I just think it's just some things are just over the top with technology.
Yeah, and I agree with you. They are definitely over the top. Definitely.
Well, it just depends. A lot of what you do and how you use technology. I enjoy the advancements. I mean, if we can put a body on the moon, then why can't we cure some of the diseases through technology that we had? The little girl who was shot, the Muslim girl in another country, they went in and did a surgery, and she now, everything's good, she's back to school and things of that nature. But we need to learn to embrace it. I know our parents are much older, and I just want a phone you can dial in, dial out, and get my messages. You look up now, you got your mother sending you text messages, you know, don't forget to bring me this. It's nice. So technology tends to grow on us. We just have to learn to use it and embrace it in a correct and in constructive way. But before I let you jump into this, Mr. Wright, we're going to send it to a commercial, and then we'll be right back at you on the flip side. Open conversation.
Open conversation. Look at yourself. You're breaking down. This is the way you want life to be. So take control. Don't lose your mind. Open your eyes, yeah. You gotta get back in line. Open conversation.
Welcome back to Open Conversation. We're talking about technology today. So, where did we leave off at?
You know, I got a funny story regarding technology. So therefore, my mom, she's still catching up to technology.
Okay.
So she just adapted to text message, and now she don't want to talk on the phone. She wants to text. So therefore, she texted her friend, and she said, "I'm sorry for the passing of your mom. LOL." So her friend got mad, and she called my mom, and she's like, cursed her out and said, "LOL, you think that's funny?" My mom said, "I don't appreciate you calling my phone, because I just said I'm sorry for the passing, lots of love." And so So nowadays with technology,
Right.
we have so many different ABC, LOL,
Right.
GLK. Like you just make up so many different abbreviations that
Right.
when I went to hire somebody one time and the whole application was just in text message abbreviations, and
Oh,
I was like, do you have any people that you would like to refer that how you got the job? And he said, spell people PPL, and I was like, okay, you can't help with homework doing abbreviations. So,
But you know, when you say that, even now, you have employers and colleges that go onto Facebook and the
Right.
different sites, and you cannot get hired or
Yeah.
not get enrolled in a school because of what they find on your Facebook or
think that's
whatever.
fair?
I think that's
Not at all.
wrong.
I think
I don't agree with that.
That's a good point, because I heard this story on Michael Bates, of a young lady who went on vacation, and she went to an island, and she put on Facebook everything that she did on vacation, and she had an interview with a Fortune 500 company, and when she came back and went to an interview, they pulled up all her information that she had on Facebook, and she didn't get hired.
You see, I think people disagree with that if depending on their lifestyle, because what about in New York that just happened about this weekend or last weekend, where it was this Caucasian male and he was about to become the fire chief, and they actually researched his Facebook and found out that he was a racist. He had pictures of Hitler and everything, and therefore they was about to put him in his top position where you're saving all ethnicity lives.
Right.
So therefore, I really think I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I just think that my Facebook, for me, is entertainment.
Right.
You know, so what you see on there is how I feel, what I like or what I don't like. So I don't think it's anybody's business.
That doesn't necessarily affect your performance at your job, though.
Exactly.
But see, once you put, not saying you in particular, but I feel as though once you put your business
Out there.
on a social network,
Right.
on any form of technology, it's all about business.
Well, we have to remember, the name is World Wide Web.
Right. And then that's why I don't get when people be on Facebook and they say, you know, my boo, I'm mad at him, I'm not making him breakfast. And then next thing you know, you comment on it, yo, well, you should leave him.
Mind your own business.
Oh, nobody told you to, you don't have to like my status.
Right, but you put it out there.
Even with you, Melissa, do you think technology is good as far as in terms of relationships? Do you think there's a boundary? Should you know his password? Don't know his password? Are you comfortable on his MySpace page? Even Facebook, believe it or not, people, Facebook still exists. No, Black Planet still exists.
Yes, it does.
Don't go on there, but it exists.
I mean, I think there should be boundaries, but I feel like to each their own. I mean, if that's something that you're comfortable with sharing, then share it. I know his password. Do I get on and check his Facebook every day? No. You know, I mean, I guess some people would see it as a trust issue.
But
You know,
absolutely.
they want to check up and make sure, find out what they're doing and stuff.
Well, I don't like Facebook and Instagram in certain areas, because when you click somebody's picture, you can that person can say, well, why did you like her picture? Why? Because she had a thong on, and they're like, I didn't even know she had a thong on in the next picture. I just clicked the picture of her eating a sushi at a restaurant.
Right.
And now with Facebook, if you're my friend and you like something, it's no longer private because it shows me what you like.
Yeah, so all the people liking all the booty pics on
Yes,
Facebook, all
we
your
see
friends
them.
can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Booty fetish.
So y'all pastors better stop it.
Wow.
Technology, speaking of the pastors, you know that now they got direct debit that you pay your church tithes,
Now, see,
and they got a Mac machine in the church.
You know, for
We don't have that. Well,
As
we
As
do
far
have the
as,
swipe
far as
code.
technology in the church, I think that's good, because as far as the debit card in the church, I think it should be like a club. Like you pay one fee at the door, and that's your fee to get in. Like you're done with it for the day. Like you shouldn't have to keep paying all this additional
Paying
money.
fees to go to church.
Yeah, it's not. It's
If we
not.
come to a point,
Yeah, because that
And we
plate
pay
comes around a little bit
Yeah,
too often.
tithes and offering, not a fee.
But
But
it's
it's
coming
more-
around. I'm gonna have to start dipping into myself.
But then again, it is more convenient, because you don't have time sometimes to stop to get an offering or your tithes. So therefore, you know, the debit card it's a wonderful thing. As long as they don't give me a receipt that say tip and gratuity,
I'm
then
not-
I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
I'm not swiping no cards at church. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it.
If you swipe everywhere else, what's the difference?
Got you there.
But what about automatic direct debit from the bank to your church?
We're
I
not doing
disagree
that.
with
We're
that
not
too.
doing that. That's
I disagree with that. I think that's a bit too much.
I agree.
And
I
some
stopped
church-
going to church and they put Mac machines in.
some churches even want to know how much you pay in taxes so that they know how much you should be paying them.
That's all.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic,
You know, I
because
like
there
that.
are churches that are doing that.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
over the top.
Simply D be having the info that nobody else be getting. So therefore,
That's crazy, yo.
but technology, technology is just really, it excites me because you just never know what's new. What was today's news is yesterday's news in technology.
True,
So therefore, for example, when Kennedy or King got assassinated, some people didn't know until later on that evening
Right.
after it happened. Now, somebody gets in an altercation, you see it within 5 seconds.
Yes.
But the downside is that now you have children nowadays that get excited from that. Therefore, they get in a fight in school and they pre-plan these fights so
Right.
they can
So they
YouTube
record
it
them.
and see
Right.
how many likes they get. What do y'all think about that?
Right. I think that's going a bit far because my 12-year-old actually got into a fight recently, and she and I were talking about it, and she was like, "Yeah, it's on Facebook." I'm like, "It's on Facebook? Are you kidding me?" And I actually went in to look, but thank God her mother had already taken it down. Because I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is like going a bit too far." So what? You got into a fight. Why does it have to be on Facebook or YouTube?
Well, the first thing that anybody does when something like that happens, everybody pulls out their phones.
Yeah, true.
And that's how a lot of them are getting caught and arrested,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
the dummies are on YouTube or Facebook, and they can pull it. They don't have to find out or ask who did it anymore. They don't have to do any interviews. They just pull up the picture and you're right there.
You see on this week in Philadelphia in the newspaper where the gentleman had his gun in his holster and he was the most wanted, and he bragged about the crimes that he committed.
Yeah.
So when the police went to talk to him, they just uploaded his Facebook page and he basically had the whole confession online.
Yeah,
So
that reminds
people
me,
need to
yeah.
stop posting certain things on Facebook.
Right.
Facebook is there for entertainment, but also the world has it. They have hired, the FBI has hired a company to sit and go through people's Facebook
Yes.
pages to see what people are posting.
That's right.
This technology, things have just changed. We have to learn to change our social attitude with our emotional intelligence. There's different things that happen that people are not getting.
Yeah, I think technology has people living in a fairy tale world where some people take technology too serious. For example, somebody could put on Facebook current income 100,000. Take a picture of a mansion and say, "This is where I live at."
You can be anybody you want to be on the internet.
Yeah.
Anybody.
And so therefore nowadays it's hard to separate from what's real and what's not because of technology. So therefore sometimes technology can be frightening, especially if you have sisters, a daughter, or you're a caring parent.
Yeah, and it'll also get you in trouble with you posting certain things like that, because now people see that and think, "Oh, okay, they got it,
Yeah.
and I want it." So now they want to kidnap a family member or whatever, and they want money. Then when they come to you paying up and you ain't got it, now that family member has to pay the consequences of that.
But here's the other flip side to that too. Posting things that people see and believe into. You got to learn, like jobs. If you call out work from sick, I call out of work and you're
Yes.
sick, please do not post pictures of yourself in Cancun.
Yeah.
Please don't post pictures of yourself in David and Buster's later on that afternoon.
Right.
Trust me, Monday morning you will no longer have a job. If you were sick Monday, be sick all day Monday.
All
And
day.
if you tell your girlfriend that, "Hey, I can't make it to that date because I have to work late," you can't post pictures of you and your boys playing PlayStation.
But not only that, you can't say you're somewhere because you don't know what your friend is going to post on Facebook or
Right.
Twitter.
And they tag you in it.
Exactly. So you get set up nowadays.
So everybody got to know where you at. So if I'm posting that I say I'm at work, I want my friends sitting next to me, to my right and my left, to also post that I was at work. Because people are losing their jobs posting stuff. But do you think that the boss should have access to your Facebook, your MySpace?
By me being the employer, I think so, because you just never know. When you go into an interview, you meeting a person's representative. They're putting on a facade of what they want you to see. Now, if you look at a person's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, hey, I'm about to go buy this, I'm about to go smoke this, I'm about to go drink this, and that makes you stop and say, wait, what type of employee am I getting?
But now,
If that
the flip
doesn't
side,
affect their performance
Right.
at work, then
And there is a weekend. There is a
right,
weekend.
there's a,
Right,
you're
right.
right.
I mean, I don't
There's
act
a
the
weekend,
same
but
when I'm
still,
home or when I'm
if
at
that's
the
not
office.
affecting their job performance and that's their recreational activity, why does it matter? You shouldn't even know that.
Okay,
You
so
shouldn't be holding that against them.
So let me ask you a question. Let's revert back to the previous story that I said. You have a firefighter that's getting ready to be the fire chief.
Right.
And he's a racist. So he could say, well, if you look at my history, I saved a lot of black lives. But what happened to that one day where that black, that Jew, or that Asian pisses him off and it's a fire and he says, well, you know what? I'm not saving that person that day because of his hatred, because he follows Hitler. He's a racist.
Then that falls on his job performance.
But that's a life that was not wasted, but that was taken off of this earth because of his ignorance, and therefore, and it could have been caught because you see this is his lifestyle that he lives.
But everything done in the dark will eventually come to light. So I don't think you have to go searching through something to find it. I just don't think so. Not that anybody can look at my Facebook, because it's nothing on there. You might get your feelings hurt, but there's nothing on there that would dissuade an employer or anyone like that. But it's mine. It's for entertainment. So if I'm feeling bad one day, I might put that on there. That doesn't take away from me. Everybody has a bad day. There are some people who put too much stuff on Facebook.
Right.
You know what they had for breakfast, lunch, dinner. They went to walk the dog. They you know everything, but all in moderation.
But see, I think you should judge a person off of their own merit. That is true. But I think at some point in time you have to stop and look at, okay, well, what am I judging you off of? Will it affect your daily performance if you're at work? So therefore, if it's the weekend, I can't judge you off your weekend, your lifestyle. But if it's something where you just left work and you're saying, okay, I'm about to go purchase marijuana, okay, now I think I need to know these things.
But I've just left work. I'm not coming back within the next 8 hours.
See,
So I've left work.
I think when it comes to like the drugs and alcohol portion, I mean, sometimes that could affect your job.
Right.
But I think that when it comes to, you know, like childcare and stuff like that, I don't think that you should be researching people's Facebooks and stuff like that. Do a simple drug test.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I mean?
background checks.
Stuff
They
like
still
that
work.
for certain positions should be required.
Right.
I'll give you a true story. I can't say names because of confidentiality. So I had an employee a few years back, and what ended up happening, he didn't know that he sent me a friend request on Facebook because of my cover picture. It wasn't myself. So therefore, I accepted it. And it just so happened, before my shift started, I'm actually looking, I'm like, who is this? So I look and I see him, and he posts, hey, I'm on my way to work. Yeah, but I'll hurry up and finish this L. And I'm like, wait, you're smoking 30 minutes before your shift, and now you're coming to work with children?
Right.
But if you never saw that and you never knew, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but at some point, where does morals come in?
But at that point, this
different.
was prior to his shift. So what he did prior to his shift, and like Melissa said, had you not ever known that, then his behavior, he came in, he was able to function, complete his job
So
on
let
task.
me ask you a
Do I
question.
think that's a thin line? It's a fine thing between the two, but what he does prior to punching in his clock is his business.
But see, technology exposes people for
No, it
what
didn't
they know.
expose him. It allowed for us
But I think
just
that
to see.
that case was different.
Okay.
Because he allowed you to be his friend knowing you were his employer. You're not going searching for information. It fell in your lap because he was a dummy. We got dumb criminals that do
Right.
dumb stuff. It fell in your lap. So therefore, you got every right to do whatever because you're acting not only as an employer but as a friend.
Right.
You know?
I think when you go on technology, when you go into a social network especially, and you post your life to the world, it doesn't matter whether it's your employer or it's your family member, this is what you want the world to see you as.
Right.
So if I meet a young lady in the street and you're saying, oh, I'm a good, wholesome girl, and then I send you a friend request and I click on Facebook and you're in the camera like this, and you just having a photo shoot of all your lingerie, you can't get mad if I don't want to talk to you no more
Not at all.
because this is what you exposed over technology.
Right. So we here at Open Conversation, we had a wonderful discussion today about technology, the use for it, the pros and the cons. So we're going to kick it to a commercial and we'll be back to wrap this up at Open Conversation.
So, welcome back. We're talking today about technology. Is it good, is it bad? You can weigh in and give us your thoughts on that by the email address you see going across the screen. You can Facebook us or you can call us at the number you also see going across the screen. We're going to kick it back to our host, guest, Ms. Hope Dennis, and see what our final thoughts is on this subject. Technology, good or bad?
Well, it's both. It's good and it's bad. It's just the way that you use it. We just have to moderate what we do and be thoughtful and, just make sure your purposes and your intent is pure.
Okay. I guess I can feed with that, go along with that. Dark Child?
We're getting a lot of hits right now on our Twitter and our Facebook page. Y'all can also log in and have a conversation with us. A lot of our viewers right now saying that technology is a plus. I'm going to go along with that. I'm going to say that technology is a pro. It's very useful in medical technology, advancing science, just your day-to-day life activities. Anything in the wrong hands can always be a negative thing. So as far as technology is, people that I can now be in one place, but be in a million places at one time. I can be in Philadelphia and be in the other 49 states. So to me, technology used the correct way is a good thing. That's how we coming to you live. Open Conversation is being viewed by millions across the United States of America. So we appreciate it. I'm for the use of technology.
Okay. Mr. Wright?
I believe technology is a wonderful thing. But in everything in life, there's a pro and there's a con. So therefore, I believe as technology advances, so should your knowledge of technology. So therefore, you can protect yourself and others. So that way, if it does fall into the hands of those that plan on doing wrong, everybody could be secure from that situation.
I agree with Mr. Wright, definitely. But just don't abuse it, don't misuse it, and
just use technology, right? Don't abuse just
technology.
Use.
Is it good, is it bad? What are your thoughts on this? Please send us your suggestions, your comments, and we will definitely feed the information back to you. That's what we do. We spin it right back. You can always reach one of us on Facebook, on the internet, or by phone. Today's topic was technology. Weigh in and tell us what you think. There's been another episode of Open Conversation. Peace.